Imagine executing a crime, thinking it'll never be detected by the officers, following top-notch planning in every way not to get convicted. In this video, we're going to share with you a similar case where the culprit thought she would get away with murder, and never be caught. Who is this culprit? How did she plan this murder? And why?
And I started yelling. I told him to hold on. I thought that Larry was okay because his eyes were open.
In Clearwater, Florida, on a sunny Super Bowl Sunday in 2008, Rebecca Fenton returned home from the gym to discover her husband Larry's bloody body lying on the floor, having been murdered by an unidentified assailant as they watched the big game. The terrible demise of an unhappy marriage, deserving of a television drama, was brought on by the unsolved murder of Larry Fenton, which shattered the coastal tranquility of lovely Clearwater, Florida. Larry and Rebecca's midlife romance had unpredictably taken off when she was in her late 30s and he was in his early 50s. At the gym, they caught each other's attention. Rebecca Fenton tells the news channel, "We did fall in love very quickly and started talking about marriage very early on. 3 months into the relationship, Larry proposed.
And we did fall in love very quickly and started talking marriage very early on.
In a short time, Rebecca and Larry were wed in Clearwater. Rebecca claims that Larry, a successful architect who later became wealthy in the surgical equipment industry, was the dashing prince she had been waiting for her entire life. He was, according to Rebecca, a wonderful gentleman who treated her like royalty right away. He purchased the two of them a lovely house. I was aware of my advantages. I knew it was a life out of a fairy tale," Rebecca said.
The wedding was that of a princess. It was the gown and the flowers and the bling and the...
But only 3 years after their marriage, one sluggish Super Bowl Sunday afternoon, their fantasy abruptly came crashing down. According to Rebecca, who spoke to the news channel, he was going to order pizza, take a nap, and then get up around 6 o'clock to watch the game. Rebecca claims she went to their home gym that was separate from their main house to work out, never dreaming she would be the last person to see Larry alive. Rebecca claims that later, in less than 2 hours, when she returned to their home, she discovered Larry lifeless in a pool of blood at the bottom of the stairs.
I just remember going real hazy. I started screaming, "Larry, Larry." And then I saw this pool of blood that was probably 6 inches all the way around his body.
Rebecca remarked, "I just remember getting really hazy. I began yelling at Larry. Then I noticed a puddle of blood that circled his body and was about 6 inches wide. Have you dialed 911? She was asked. "Not immediately. At first, I tried to take his pulse," Rebecca recounted. "Then I noticed that our home was in disorder as I peered into the big room. I then began screaming. I advised him to hang on. Because Larry's eyes were open, I assumed he was all right and hurried upstairs. More rooms had been looted," she discovered.
We're very private. We're not socializers, really.
After saying, "Hold on, honey," Rebecca went back down the stairs, touched him one more time, and slightly tousled his hair. Then she hurried outside and dialed 911. "My spouse is motionless as he lies in the center of the floor. Not even sure he's still alive. Additionally, the house has been looted. Please move quickly and arrive. He may be deceased, in my opinion. My husband might be dead, I believe. But if you move quickly, perhaps he's still alive and you can assist him."
Emergencies. I think my husband's been shot. My house has been burglarized. I just walked in. I'm not getting a pulse on him. I just came in from the...
However, when medical personnel arrived, they find Larry Fenton dead from 4 gunshot wounds to the neck and back. For the police, it was evident right away that Larry had perished during the heist. In the entire house, drawers had been pulled out and cabinet doors had been left ajar, spilling their contents all over the bedrooms and living rooms flooring. Additionally, Larry's Jeep was not in the driveway. But upon closer inspection, cops found that nothing of actual worth had been taken, not even Larry's wallet full of cash, except for his car. Detective Hasty tells Crime Watch Daily that he didn't buy it. "I began to realize that this house raiding wasn't really a house raiding at all. There were other items that were thrown over, including bookshelves. The books on the shelf appear to have just been knocked off by someone's hand. To what purpose? Nothing is accomplished by doing that. I therefore thought that this was a staged crime when we began investigating." Rebecca does something strange while talking to the police on the sidewalk, while detectives and forensics experts are searching the house for additional clues. Rebecca was seen on camera giggling and making jokes, according to the detective.
In the house. Guns, firearms, guns.
We did own a gun.
Okay.
We bought one very
You
recently.
just have one gun in the house?
Yes.
Okay. Is it a handgun? Is it a shotgun or rifle?
It's something that
Within hours, Rebecca Fenton was being questioned by investigators at the Clearwater police station on suspicion of killing Larry Fenton.
we had some where and when, and some pamphlets on some sponsorship for AA earlier. And Larry wouldn't get up and lock the front door. He'll do all that at night.
We definitely thought that some of the things she was saying and doing didn't quite add up, said Clearwater Police Sergeant Kerry Spaulding. According to Clearwater Police Detective Michael Hasty, there are 2 cars in the driveway, hers and his, and they're going to successfully ransack the entire place? Another red flag was revealed by detectives in television footage taken at the crime scene by a local TV team. Rebecca claims that she was responding to an officer's lighthearted remark about the bystanders gathered outside her house. Police, though, deny that. Detectives had further reasons to be suspicious about Larry's murder, including Rebecca's behavior when she discovered him dead.
Blood everywhere. He was laying face down.
Okay.
Is the back door open or shut?
Do you mean open, not locked?
Open, standing open.
What the police found in Rebecca's car would direct their attention away from the killer and towards a location closer to them. Just hours after Larry Fenton was shot dead in their Clearwater, Florida home, police interviewed Rebecca Fenton with the suspicion that she had killed her husband. But until they find Larry's stolen Jeep Cherokee 2 days later, they have no tangible proof. In addition, what they didn't uncover in the vehicle supports their concerns that Larry wasn't slain in a home invasion robbery. Detectives wonder if any thief wouldn't at least steal Larry's iPod and laptop after discovering the sole booty in the abandoned Jeep. Some costume jewelry, a jar of money, and his iPod. The murder weapon, Larry's own gun, is subsequently found in a plastic bag under the front passenger seat of Rebecca's car, and what appears to be a stunning case-breaking find for the detectives. Along with the jewelry that Larry always wore, the bag also contained the Cherokee's lost keys, the key to the stolen gun case, and some other items, according to Sergeant Spaulding. The overwhelming weight of the evidence now points to Rebecca Fenton as her husband's killer rather than a burglar. The suspect would need to enter the house, climb the stairs, mysteriously find the gun that is hidden in a bedroom drawer, come back downstairs, kill Larry, and then do all of the aforementioned in order to ransack the flat, steal various items, move them all to the Cherokee, take the Cherokee, drive it around the block, and then abandon it. Sergeant Spaulding remarked it didn't make sense. Sergeant Spaulding stated, if Larry tragically passed away, died accidentally, or if something else happened to him, then she received almost $500,000. She stands to collect over $1 million if she inherits Larry's riches, according to Detective Hasty. The majority of the insurance proceeds would eventually go to Rebecca, but she scoffs at the idea that she murdered her husband to gain them. Rebecca claimed, I love Larry, and Larry would have done me a lot more good financially, alive, than dead. But detectives thought they have enough proof to accuse Rebecca Fenton of killing her husband Larry at this point. Really, there wasn't just one cause. Does the case crumble if you remove only one piece of evidence? No, it doesn't depend on any particular piece of proof. It was predicated on everything working in unison to simply be overwhelmingly convincing of her guilt, according to Detective Hasty. The fact that the gun was discovered in her car, in my opinion, was her single largest error, said Hasty. I just didn't think I was ever going to be arrested for something that was so heinous. That was such a loss to me, Rebecca said. Rebecca, who is currently serving a life sentence for the first-degree murder of her husband, Larry Fenton, also never imagined that a jury would condemn her. But investigators are confident Rebecca Fenton was the culprit. Rebecca, now 50, believes that because of her enigmatic smile at the crime scene and her past as a call girl who had been arrested for prostitution, she was tried and found guilty before she even appeared in court. It was enough for a lot of people in the community to think that I was a monster, Rebecca added. Rebecca is still adamant that Larry was murdered by a burglar. I want to be able to reassure folks I'm not a monster when I turn around. I'm not a monster, Rebecca insisted. However, Rebecca's appeals have thus far been rejected, and she's serving time in jail. So this was the story of a happy marriage turning into a terrible crime, but not as terrible as when I watched when a murderer falls in love with the victim. Click that video right here.